good evening, and welcome to ATV. I'm Suad Asfour, your host. My special guest tonight is George Lammam and Gabriel Navia. George Lammam, of Palestinian descent, born in Lebanon, is a violinist, a recording artist, composer, and artistic director. Mr. Lammam, as an artistic emissary, brings Arab arts and his cultural heritage to fore in supporting Palestine, both the culture and the people. George is a featured artist in other musical groups, Ancient Future, Wobbly World, Shabazz, and Penya Pasha Mama group. His composition and performances scores for 2 award-winning documentaries, Occupation 101 and Tea on the Axe of Evil. In 2016, he recorded a well-known folkloric debke in featured film Wrestling Jerusalem. He performed with mostly with known singers of the Middle East, such as Raghib Alama, Eli Shweri, and many others, Ghassan Saliba, and many, many more. George, bonsoir.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for
having me. Nice to have you. And my second guest is Gabriel Navia. Gabriel was born in a musical family. He is one of Bolivia's most internationally renowned Latino artists, producer, guitarist, multi-instrumentalist, and composer. He has collaborated in 3 albums nominated for the Latin Grammys. Gabriel Navia started his professional music career at the age of 11, led by his father, Eddie Navia, a master and a legend of the charango in his own right, allowed Gabriel to perform on various stages throughout the world. Welcome to the show, Gabriel.
Thank you.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Nice to have you with
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Let me start the first question with George. George, we'd like to know a little bit more about your background and what drew you to the musical industry.
Well, I come from a musical family. My father was a producer.
Yes.
In Egypt in the early 50s.
Wow.
Produced actually many movies.
Movies
also,
and
he
films.
was a good friend with Abdul Halim Hafiz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That far?
And Ahmad Hamdi and many different artists.
That's amazing.
Shadia. So I still have those pictures with him, with those artists. And my mother was a singer. And all my brothers are musicians too.
Wow.
So I started music with, of course, because of the whole family, and it was in the house, so it was in front of us.
That's very lucky.
Thank
That's very nice to know. What about inspiration? Who gives you throughout the years you've been inspired? What inspired
Well, I started
you the most?
with my mother as a singer. I used to go with her to the recording studios in Beirut in Lebanon and listen to her singing with the big orchestra.
Yeah.
And
so actually, she was like famous, like everybody else.
Well, she was also a backup singer for many famous singers from Lebanon. And so going with her to the studio recording, so it influenced me to have heard all the strings together, it's like angel sounds.
How lucky.
So I had opportunity, of course, to, when we moved from Lebanon to Dubai, I have opportunity to start music in Dubai.
Okay.
And my career started in Dubai, yeah.
So you've done some traveling.
Oh yeah, that's the beginning.
That's very good. That's what it takes. In this business, it's got to happen.
And also, I used to listen to Aboud Abdul Al a lot, which is my mother knew. You know, Aboud Abdul Al is very, very famous.
I'm not that old, but I cannot remember the name.
So he influenced me a lot, and
Okay.
other players too.
So that gives you motivation.
Absolutely.
That's excellent. I see we have 5 CDs right here, and I see this one. It's called Opus Omnia.
Opus Omnia, yeah.
Opus Omnia. You made this 2017. Was this your recent?
This is the latest one, yeah.
Okay,
and,
the recent
I have
one.
4 others before through the years.
Uh-huh.
All the music are original.
That's number 5.
This is number 5, and on it actually there is.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about number 3 here. It's called Olla Yalla.
Olla Yalla. Oh, this is the story behind it between me and Gabriel.
Yeah, what's the story behind this? I heard about Start Small, where it counts in Gaza documentary. It's a small documentary, 10 minutes documentary.
Lately, I received a call from from an organization, non-profit organization called Rebuilding Alliance.
Okay.
And she said, I was in Gaza and I made this 10 minutes documentary movie. I'd love you to tell me which music you like to choose for I want to choose one of your music. And I told her, why don't listen to my album and you choose? And she does.
Oh, they picked number 3.
And she chose number 3, Olla Yalla, for the movie called Start Small, Where It Counts in Gaza.
Gaza. Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't watched it, but I'm looking forward. And tell me, why did you give that piece of music that name? And it's a Spanish name, basically,
well,
right?
me and Gabriel, we've been...
Was he influence on you?
Oh, I love Latin music, yeah. Me and Gabriel, we met around more than 15 years ago. And I started sitting in with his group, and he sits in with me. So he knows a lot of Arabic music, and I know a lot of...
that's interesting.
Of Latin... we start composing music together and recording.
Yeah.
So this is one of the compositions we've done in my living room.
Oh, really? And with his Spanish look, he blends in with the Arab very good.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
So we created that in my living room.
You created it together.
And this is on the latest album called Opus Omnia.
That's interesting. That's good to know. Can we hear it?
Yes.
Please. Thank you. Wow, you guys are amazing. This is really, really nice. Again, this is called it starts
Olayala.
Olayala from Start Small, where it counts in Gaza, in the 10 minutes documentary.
Yes.
So we look forward for that. I hope everybody follow it. I have a question for Gabriel.
Yes.
As I mentioned in the remarks that you started your musical career at age 11.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice. Can you tell me, and you've been around many stages around the world.
Yes.
You performed in several different places. Can you tell me about your experience, how wonderful it was, and if there's anything you remember that really sticks into your mind?
Well, I was very fortunate to be able to stand right next to my dad, touring and performing all over age 11. And growing into the music world, it's been a blessing for me, really. And I can't recall one favorite moment. Really, there's been so many, and they just keep coming.
So you had good experience all over
absolutely,
the place.
absolutely. And now, working for these last 10, 15 years with George, it's just such a beautiful learning experience, and having the great honor of bringing music to people and try to make this world,
It's a good feeling. You make people happy. That's good.
Yes.
That's excellent. Thank you for the answer. George, back to you. I mentioned also that you've done some touring and traveling around the world. You've been to Bethlehem recently, and you've been to Bolivia in 2017, and you toured Bolivia with many other artists.
Well, the tour was with the first time I went to Bolivia was 2014.
Okay.
When it was Gabriel's father. It was actually a big group. Also, we used.
We had dancers. We had.
Also, there's two dance companies from Bolivia themselves.
Awesome.
They did flamenco and Arabic dance also, and they were us in the tour. It's around 30 days tour. It was around 30 days.
Really?
7 different
That's
cities
long.
in Bolivia. So that tour was. I will never forget it.
It was one of your favorite, probably.
Yeah. And then his father also.
Lifetime.
His father is really very, very well-known charango artist. So he actually introduced me to a lot of She actually make me known in Bolivia because of also we did around 28 TV interviews.
Ooh,
however, I have to speak English, and Gabriel have to translate all the time in Spanish because I don't speak Spanish. And then we went again 2016 one more time to Bolivia, and just me and him as a duet.
Ah, I see.
And beautiful theaters we played at. I mean, there's some of the theaters like in a city called Tarija was built 1780s.
Wow, really?
Called the Golden Theater, right? Yeah.
How interesting.
Theaters, I mean, like 2,000, 3,000 people.
That's good. That's good to explore other culture and other areas. Now, tell me about your trip to Palestine.
Well, we work with this also non-profit organization called Bright Star of Bethlehem.
Okay.
Which is the Lutheran pastor from Bethlehem, Palestine. We call it West Bank.
I see.
They have a college there, art college called Dar el-Kalima.
Dar el-Kalima.
And he asked me if I would come and do the opening of their library in 2017. Celebration by also using some of their students who are studying music. So of course I love going there.
That's good.
So we did an opening for the library.
Dar el-Kalima.
Yeah, the college called Dar el-Kalima. It's not only music, but they do culinary, I mean, all kind of arts, paintings, and so that was an amazing trip going to Palestine.
Good.
And then 2017, I think, yeah, when we went to visit the refugee camps in Greece. We were invited with my other group, the Wobbly World. So it was in an island called Shalkida, or Khalkida, they call it that way. So this kind of small refugee camp, mostly from Syria.
Okay.
And we visited their tents and we played the music inside their tents. And then in the end of the week, we did a big concert at the ruins on one of the castles on the top of the mountain, 14th century.
Wow.
And then,
wow, how lucky.
And then they brought actually the refugees from the camps and the buses to see the concert. It was an amazing experience.
Also, all of you guys were doing this for non-profit organizations.
Absolutely, non-profit, yeah.
Good. Can we hear something from one of those trips? What do you like to play?
Well, I can play. I'm working on a new album beside the
yeah, tell us about the new album coming up soon.
It's not done yet, but this piece also I can compose with Gabriel.
You guys are working on it together.
Yeah, we finished recording that piece, but not the album. This one called Savannah.
Savannah. Let's hear it. Hopefully some Hollywood producer will pick it for one of their movies.
Yeah.
That will be nice. Go. This is great, beautiful. Savannah.
Savannah.
And it's coming up in the next album.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's beautiful. George, we do have 3 minutes left. However, before we end the show, we would like to hear something very special from you. I remember I heard something you made for your dad. Can I ask you to play that for us with whatever?
Also.
Is it
actually, was that one called My Father's
Oh,
Song.
you composed it with him or both of you together?
Well, most of the work, I think.
Okay,
Because
so it's in one of those albums?
It's also an Opus Omnia.
Okay, in this
called
one.
My Father's Dad, yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. I want to thank you so much for coming. I'm going to leave the rest of the time for you to play this song.
Thank you. This one called My Father.
My Father.
My Father's Song.
My Father's Song, we'll hear it by George Lammam and composed by Gabriel Navia. I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you again next week. Thank you. Go ahead.